what he brings to the table. So, like I said, it's a sad news for Manchester United fans. So.
And talking about Conte and the players he will bring in, there are talks that £250 million is already ready for him to spend in terms of transfer kitting.
That's not bad news. No, because a proven coach is easier to attract players to a club, and Tottenham has the players already. Probably there is no enough motivation for them to play right way, because you could see Harry Kane struggling, someone that was last season, highest goal scorer with the assist that he had, and the following season is struggling. Son, even Lucas Moura, a lot of their players. So it's just something that I know him coming on board, at least. He's going to induct a lot of discipline into these players. You know, Italian coach, they don't take nonsense. Definitely. So definitely, let's just see how it goes. Like in the next few months, January transfer, I can't wait to see what happens, honestly, because he's going to bring players who want to definitely play for proven coaches. Like exactly. So I fear for Man U. Let me just put it like that, because 250 million pounds for a transfer, even for January window that is about to, like, in a few months. Let's see how it goes.
Well, before we delve into Champions League football, let's just look at the issue of top four, especially for next season or towards the end of the season. Beyond Tottenham Hotspur, there's also Newcastle United, and they're being linked with former Arsenal manager Unai Emery. Yes.
It's a good thing for Premiership. At least we should have. Premiership lost that a couple of years ago, where it's not about the money. This thing, when Premiership was Premiership, like even teams that you didn't expect will spring up surprise. You can see as Leicester team winning the title and others. So it's a good thing for the Premier League actually, because when you see teams that you on a good day are written off on a good day, like before you even play them, you know that this thing, and now exactly. So you can now see them wanting to challenge for the top spot, the Premier League title, and so it's a good thing. Like I said, it's a good thing, because when you consider the money, the financial aspect of it also too, things are changing. Premiership is more competitive than ever now, because you can see West Ham United even on the top four presently, fighting for the top four. Newcastle joining, Leicester, a lot of teams. Like I said one time like that, I don't think we're looking for top 4 anymore. Maybe top 10, top 10 or top 15. That's what we'll be looking at, because it's a lot of changes coming into and a lot of competition coming to the big teams, which is good, very good, to make the competition a more competitive,
Yes, I'm talking about competition and a more competitive league. It has to be the biggest stage in terms of European club football, and that is the UEFA Champions League. As a matter of fact, it's not just Europe; it's all over the world. When you talk about club football, the biggest, the most prestigious, and definitely the most rewarding, it has to do with the UEFA Champions League. It is the biggest stage of club football in the world, and the big teams, the big guns in various leagues are the ones who persecute these ties. And some big teams are already showing their onions in terms of qualification for the round of 16. Talking about German giants, BAYERN MUNICH, yes, as well as Italian giants, JUVENTUS, who have secured their spots in the round of 16. 4 wins from 4 matches, it says. For BAYERN MUNICH, routine win, 5-2 winners over Benfica.
It's always, like you said, it's a routine win. So it's
Lewandowski hat-trick.
No, it's like a day at the office, usual day at the office for them, because they are still the strongest team actually in terms of, though they lost in the league previously. Definitely. But a Bayern team, when they come back, they always come back with it. So the scoreline was not a surprise to me. It was respectful. Like it was like they were even like, okay, let's just enjoy this. Lenient. But on a good day, Bayern on their good day, probably 7-8, they don't care. So them gaining the qualification is normal. If they didn't get exactly. And Juve, even though they were struggling in there, they are still struggling in the league, but at least they are getting the results in the Champions League. So hopefully.
And you think that's the only reason Allegri is still on his job? The fact that they're getting it done in Champions League, though they're struggling in the league?
Yes, because basically I think a Juventus team are actually tired of the league being won, like their domestic titles. So they are that's why they brought in Cristiano Ronaldo in first place, and though he couldn't deliver on that,
Champions League is still the goal.
But Champions League is still, and so far you are still performing on the main reason why you are being brought on board, and then definitely you will still remain there. That's just it.
Well, talking about other teams that secured wins yesterday, although it couldn't get them, a qualification for the round of 16, we're talking about Spanish giants who are still struggling at this time. Talking about Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona are still in search for a new coach, and they had to take that man who took over Lionel Messi's jersey, talking about Ansu Fati, to get the lone goal for them against Dynamo Kiev, while Chelsea were also able to grind out another win against Malmo away from home. Two teams away from home, 1-0 scoreline. It was more of a massive struggle, but that's what champions do. Even when they do not play so well, they grind out results.
Yes, Chelsea first. I believe Chelsea is going to qualify from the group stage, and Barcelona. Yeah, they are struggling presently. Like, it's still shaky, but nevertheless, we expect them, like, in the times of qualities they still have, even though Lionel Messi is not there anymore. Yeah. You can still say, oh, this team, at least in the Champions League, though they are struggling domestically and what's it called, in the Champions League also too, but you can say, you can expect them to qualify, even if not at the top position, team, let's say the second or something, because I don't see them playing a Europa League honestly, because it's not actually a good thing for them.
Well, let's hope that their injury woes as well, lessens a bit, because Sergio Aguero is out for 3 months due to a chest pain.
Yes.
And you have players just coming back in terms of De Jong, Ousmane Dembele, the way it is, injury prone. So, a bit of injury crisis up front.
Yes. I expect the new coach that is coming in to stick to. No, they lost what's it called? After losing Messi, they lost Griezmann, and it's a whole lot of change that apart from the financial distance that they are going through presently. So you can just expect them, at least a Barcelona team, they groom like their homegrown player, inject them in more, Gavi and the rest. Then give Memphis Depay a more central role, not from the left or something. So exactly. So the guy knows how to score goals. So definitely he's going to deliver.
Well, let's see how that pans out, talking about Barcelona and qualification for the round of 16. Another team that is struggling to also qualify for the round of 16 is Manchester United, the Red Devils. In recent times, the theater of dreams has become a theater of nightmare. And then once again, it's, the club legend or club hero, if you want to call him that, Cristiano Ronaldo, who had to strike at Fergie time to ensure that United got the points away from home against Atalanta. That was a match they could have lost by 2-1, but it ended 2-2 with the 93rd strike from Ronaldo. Without Ronaldo, especially in Champions League, not even in the league, where will United be?
Honestly, I can't even imagine our lives without Ronaldo. But nevertheless, I think one of the things I think is one of the problems that Solskjaer is facing presently is the fact that Ronaldo coming in gave him a little bit of like breathing space, like because on a good day you see him play a Martial up front, where in the world Martial is. I've never seen a Martial as a center striker. Also Rashford, these guys plays
the thrive more
exactly from the flanks. Then why bringing them in? Though results are coming in, you could see. During before Ronaldo came in and all those things, but honestly, this season, Man U will have been a total mess without Ronaldo, because by now we will have been out of the Champions League. Let's just be honest, we will have been out.
The group is still very open.
Very open.
Do you fancy United's chances of qualifying? They're playing Villarreal next, away from home.
Yes.
And there's still the other match to play as well. Talking about Young Boys, which they surprisingly lost on match day 1.
That's one of the annoying parts. But nevertheless, you could see how massive the points was for the team yesterday. Like, they were so happy. Hopefully we get another point. Even if we can't get a win in Spain,
against
then home game against a Young Boy. I'm hoping. What I just think I needed to do right now is just to avoid a loss anymore. Like, man, you can't afford to lose any game. Then we can probably draw the next game, like with Villarreal. Young Boys coming to Old Trafford. That's of them.
Get maximum 3 points.
Exactly. That's
okay.
Possible.
Let me put you on the spot. Quick one, because it seems it's just a matter of when, not if. When Solskjaer gets dismissed, who takes over?
right now, like I said, it was a sad news for me when Conte got, because I was expecting, because
Zidane is still out there.
but I don't actually fancy Zidane is actually like almost like a soldier, though he has proven records and everything, but they play soft game, and I don't think Premiership is about soft being soft this thing.
Really?
Even Guardiola has to adapt to it. Like, you have to be physical in Premier League. There's nothing like, and so yeah, you played in this same league and you are playing this kind of this thing. A Fred is not a 4, like he's not a defensive midfield. Play more of Rashford, I mean Matic or Van de Beek. They are more robust and everything. You can't easily get them off this thing. So even if, because it seems Ronaldo keeps saving his job, honestly, I think Ronaldo likes him because they play together. And who comes in, I can't even fancy, because Zidane probably will be, since Conte has gone to the other club. Zidane, who else? I think that's the only coach that can come to the head right now, unless they want to bring in one of the old guards again. And I don't see.
Well, let's see how that pans out in terms of United and the managerial role. It's, as I said earlier, it's not a question of if, it's just a matter of when, with regards to a vacancy at the managerial position for Old Trafford. And it's 3 years, nothing has, it's difficult to say there was progress under Solskjaer from the Mourinho days, but it's what it is. Football change is constant, especially when it has to do with managerial roles, when results do not go the way the club's fans or the administrators want it to go. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed on that. Let's see how the following week pans out for United. They'll be playing against City at the weekend, and that's a derby. You know what it is. It's something that could probably determine Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fate. Well, let's move away from United and still talk about Champions League football. There are matches today, and so many of them, big ones. Probably the biggest of them all will be at Anfield, where Liverpool will be hosting Atletico Madrid without Antoine Griezmann. Remember, Griezmann got red carded in the reverse fixture, which Liverpool won by 3-2, and it was Salah doing big damage once again. What do we expect? We can't say there's. It's the
usual. Like Liverpool are scoring.
They're scoring goals for fun.
Yes, exactly. So it's the usual. It's going to be business as usual for Salah, because the rate at which the guy is scoring goal right now, it's actually one of the best finishers right now. Because you can arguably you can say that, but when we talk about being prolific in front of goals, you can mention the guy's name, because the guy is delivering. Even though he didn't score in their last game, but you could see even this exactly the way his movement, the way he opens up the play. I mean, the play for the other teammates and others. You could see the pass he made for this guy Jordan Henderson for that beautiful goal, and it just shows how classy the guy is. The guy is actually performing to the distance. So
Liverpool wins straight up.
Liverpool straight win.
Okay, talking about another big match tonight, it has to be at Germany, talking about RB Leipzig against Paris Saint-Germain, and that's a match we should watch out for. The reverse fixture also ended by 3-2. It was a very close match, and then we had to take the individual brilliance of Lionel Messi, who got a brace in there to ensure that Paris Saint-Germain ran out 3-2 winners. Now it's the reverse fixture away from home, and then PSG definitely will be tested. Remember, these two teams are beginning to really have a rivalry when it comes to the UEFA Champions League stage. When Paris Saint-Germain got to the final 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, it was also RB Leipzig that they trashed out of the competition in the semi-final. So there's so much to look forward to in talking about today's game or tonight's game. 3-2 first leg, Nkunku getting goals, RB Leipzig. What do we expect this time around?
PSG, Messi has been ruled out of this fixture.
Yes.
So though the guy has not fit into
fully
the quality.
That's probably Pochettino's fault.
Yes, but nevertheless, you still expect them to still deliver.
Neymar, Mbappe,
maybe a draw. Or I see, because Leipzig are actually a team that they love scoring too. They score a lot of goals. So
surprisingly, they've not won a game.
It's surprising. Like it was, but nevertheless, that's what Champions League are meant for. Surprises and surprises. They could go on and win their next 3 games.
3 games. That's very possible. I'm talking about another team that is out for redemption. It has to be Borussia Dortmund. They had a stinker against Ajax Amsterdam in the reverse fixture 2 weeks back, losing by 4-0. No one expected that scoreline. Not even the most optimistic Ajax supporter would have expected such, a blowout scoreline for Ajax in terms of a victory. We expected goals to reign quite alright, but we expected it to be from both sides. 4-0 that ended, and this time around Dortmund is at home, the Signal Iduna Park, where they'll be looking to get this, a bit of revenge at the hands of Ajax Amsterdam. What do we expect? Because now Dortmund are still in prime position to qualify.
Yes.
Ajax are in very good standing. It's probably a battle for even the top spot of that group.
Yes.
Do you think Dortmund can get it done at home?
Yes, I think so. But nevertheless, you can't write off an Ajax team because the way the team plays and this guy
Sebastian Haller.
The guy has just
it was a fluke at West Ham.
And you could see the way he became, like the way he's scoring goal, like it's like
the transition
like,
from 0 to 100.
That's why we talk about teams. I mean, playing to people's ability.
Yes.
You could see the courage the guy has now. I think we can't compare that when he was at West Ham.
At West Ham, definitely.
So definitely the way I see him scoring again tonight actually, and I see Erling Haaland scoring goals also too. Though they've been wasteful in front of goals lately, but yes, so hopefully, though I expect a draw though, but nevertheless I expect a high scoring match also too, because the two of them on their good day they just want to be scoring, they just want to be scoring, so hopefully.
So we won't see a blowout scoreline like 4-0.
I don't think so. It's going to be a go like between the two of them. Yes.
Okay, there you have it, talking about both teams, the possibility of both teams scoring goals in that match. We should expect, lots of goals, not a blowout scoreline as Adekunle has said, but probably, a 3-1, 3-2 kind of scoreline is what we should expect between Borussia Dortmund and Ajax Amsterdam. There are other matches as well. You have Real Madrid against Shakhtar Donetsk. That's routine win. Nothing to really say about that. Because Real Madrid are currently on fine form, especially in the Champions League. And then there's Inter Milan against Sheriff. Inter Milan as well, you expect them to get a routine win. And now we move to Paris. Yes, the Paris Masters is taking place. It's the last Masters tournament of the year, the calendar year. And Novak Djokovic, world number 1, made his long-awaited return to the tour. And it was a massive struggle in his first game ever since that heartbreaking loss to Dan Medvedev at the US Open final. 3 sets against Martin Fucsovics. It was a struggle, really.
Yes, but it's that kind of match where you expect Djokovic to qualify, even though because he hasn't played rusty. Exactly. Yeah. He hasn't played really. But over time, he gets into form, and he starts dishing it out, and hopefully he can retain the title also too, because that's world number 1. You don't expect him to get out of the.
There's even so much at stake for Djokovic. For those who do not know, how well he fares at this tournament will determine if he would end the season as the year world number 1 once again, and that will be a record 7 times. So he's gunning for the record books. He's also gunning to win the Paris Masters once again. If he wins it, it will be the 6th time, which is a record. But it's not even about the Paris Masters. It's about the Masters tournament as a whole, because it's currently tied with Rafael Nadal on 36 Masters titles. So if he gets to win Paris, it will make it 37, making him the clear-cut number 1 when it comes to most wins of Masters tournaments in tennis history. Remember that the Masters tournaments is your next big thing after the slams. Your slams are your Australian Open, your French Open, Wimbledon, as well as US Open. That's the biggest, competition in tennis. After that, you have the Masters tournaments, which are the biggest, not just in terms of prize money, but also in terms of ranking points. 1,000 points are at stake, while for Grand Slams, it's 2,000 points that are at stake. So there's so much to play for Novak Djokovic. He's not just gunning for his 6th record, Paris Masters title. He's also gunning for a record 37th Masters title. He's also moving for, aiming for the world number 1 record for his 7th time. There's so much at stake, and he needs to really get this done. How much do you think? He didn't deny it that the loss against Dan Medvedev in the US Open final was heartbreaking, and it was emotionally drained. Going forward, do you think that would affect him or it will spoil him? We've seen Serena Williams struggle to match, the 24th slam record of Margaret Court. Do you think Djokovic is going to propel him further or kind of drain him?
No, I think it's one of the things that we as athletes go through in their career, where you feel you're not good enough, like because you used to be at the top, then you lost to someone you didn't expect to lose to. So definitely it's down, like it's going to drain him, but he has a very good mentality, like even though we did exactly. So hopefully he gets to come back fully, come with more fire, come with more determination,
and resilience,
and resilience, and because it's not that old.
It's just like, 34.
Exactly. So, and if we see Zlatan in football and Ronaldo still making headways with everything. Hopefully it's still going to be, I mean, come back with a lot of motivation. I mean, being motivated to carry on.
Okay, talking about motivation, you have to give it to Novak Djokovic. We've seen him over the years on tour. He's got the strength, he's got the resilience, you know, to always pull the chestnut out of the fire, so to speak. So we expect him to really pull through. Let's move on quickly to a bit of basketball, you want to say, because it involves a basketball legend, Kobe Bryant. Yes, the Los Angeles Lakers legend who, you know, passed on from that eventful helicopter crash, I beg your pardon, January 2020. And the Los Angeles County Board have issued or have paid $2.5 million settlement to 2 families that were involved in that crash, talking about the Altobelli family as well as the Mausa families. And the reason for the settlement is because of the inappropriate release of the crash, you know, photographs. So $1.25 million each for both families. The crash, you had the fire department, you had, you know, members of the police force, the sheriffs and all, release pictures without, you know, authoritative consent and all of that. Now, after expending over $1.3 million, you know, in litigation cases and all, they decide to settle out of court with those 2 families.
Yes.
Do you think it's the way forward?
It's actually because the deed has been done. So instead of dragging, just sit at the round table. How much? Settle out of court.
So that the families can have
closure. At least they can move on from this. It's definitely a tragedy that a lot of the members, I mean, see, they leave this world, they will have to deal with. Well, nevertheless, it has happened. Life has to continue. That's just the way. At least there's some level of closure for the family. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And talking about closure, Kobe Bryant's widow is still looking for closure because she also filed a case against the Los Angeles County Board, and that has not yet been resolved. Anyways, that's the how much we can take on today's edition of the show. Adekunle, thank you so much for coming. I'm Samson Lady. It's been The Arena. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay blessed.